I have Etat Libre de Orange Cologne. So this is actually a really good cologne. I find it similar to several fragrances. It is a cologne. I see it compared to Tom Ford's Neroli, Portofino, and 4711. I don't get that. There's so many fragrances that smell that Neroli cologne. I think Frederick Malle has one. I mean, there's a bunch. I can't think of them all right now, but this is more, it's not Neroli centered for me. It's more citrusy, like classic, I guess Italian style cologne. It's yeah, I don't really get that Neroli thing in here for me personally. It might have Neroli, I'm not sure. I don't remember the notes, but this runs $105 for 50 ml, I believe, and I think 165 for 100 ml. They used to have 30 mLs, and I mean, you could get them 20% off for, I don't know, 60, $70. You can get the 50 ml in discounters, I believe, for like 70 or something, but I think this is worth it. It's up there with some of the best colognes I've smelled. Is it a little cleaner like? Yes, but not too bad. Cleaners have a lot of citrus in them that can kind of seem like cologne, but I don't mind that, and I don't feel like this is overly clean, like a lemony thing or anything. I find it similar to, it's kind of a mix of a lot of fragrances. I get a little bit of Frederick Malle's Eau de Magnolia in this. Frederick Malle's Eau de Magnolia to me actually smells like Chanel Cristal, the EDT. This doesn't really smell like Chanel Cristal. I feel like it smells more like the Frederick Malle's Eau de Magnolia, kind of mixed with something like Les Indomables Cologne Indonesia, I think, but I don't think this has real ambergris in there. It feels like there's ambergris kind of in there. It doesn't feel ambroxany to me. It's like a little bit of a, it's a little bit more like ambergris. I doubt it has real ambergris in there, but it kind of has some of that in there, and I think that really elevates this fragrance, and it makes it good in my opinion. I don't know what it is, but it's good. This one, yeah, it's good. I kind of get like Roja's cologne. What does he call them? Cologne, Eau de Perfumes, or I don't know what he calls those colognes, but kind of like a little bit of Scandal, like that old school, but like cologne freshened up. It's not as classic or strong as that one, I don't think, but it kind of shares some similarities. In my opinion, it's been a while since I've smelled some of these, but this is kind of what I'm thinking of when I'm trying to think what this fragrance smells like. But, from this brand, I own Fat Electrician, really good Gourmand Vetiver, which sounds boring because I don't really like gourmands. And I tend to like vetiver that's freshened up with grapefruit or something, but Fat Electrician's a really good one from this house. This house has a lot of good ones. They have a lot of leathers, and I think leather's not my favorite note, but from this house, I guess I could do a review. I've smelled nearly all of them. 500 Years is a good one. I think it's like a dusty rose kind of. I would recommend trying that one. Some of the Etat Libre d'Orange, the more expensive ones, the Intense or whatever, they only have 100 ml. So I really don't like 100 mls that often, especially if they're super expensive and strong. I don't need that. But what else is good from this house? There's a lot of them. I can't think of them. Let me see. 500 Years, this one. If you want to try something weird, like different, they have a labdanum, however you say that, centered fragrance. That's the only note listed, I believe, and that one's it's not pleasant. It's kind of challenging, but it's interesting to say the least. I mean, it's like straight labdanum, no amber or anything. I would try that if you want something unique. Rien, Rien, that one is super potent and unique, challenging. I don't know what I feel about it. And usually when something's challenging and I don't know how I feel about it, I usually end up liking it more because I keep coming back trying to figure it out. Maybe it's the art aspect of the fragrance, but sometimes when that happens, I feel like the fragrances are just not well blended and confusing, and maybe I'm confused myself. I'm trying to figure it out and it's just not good. I don't know. Like yeah, I don't want to call any brands out about some fragrances that are like that or anything, but yeah, back to this fragrance. It's good. If you want to try some other good colognes, I don't hear too many people talking about Lacoste. I think Lacoste is a great house. I wore Lacoste Blanc EDT for years. I went through a lot of bottles. That's a really good fragrance. I think they released an EDP of that years later, and it's similar. I would say maybe it's just rounded out, slightly more mature. It's similar to the EDT. I think the EDT is better of that one. And then I think they released a fresh one, which I didn't really try. It's more recent, and I think it has lavender apple. And I feel like that's been done a lot, like with YSL's Y. And then I think they released like an intense one of the Blanc one, Lacoste, and I think it's like lavender and clary sage or something like that. It's done so much in designer, so I didn't even bother smelling it. But I would definitely get a sample of this. If you're in the US, Twisted Lily has it for like $5 a 2 ml. Or better yet, just buy the whole sample set from Etat, Libre d'Orange. I think it's 20 fragrances for like 40 or 50 bucks. I mean, it's worth it. There's some good ones. This is a good brand. They're not overcharging. I mean, they are expensive, but I would say it's fair comparatively to other brands. The prices have gone up a little bit over the years, but they're still fair, and they smell just as good as any $200, $300 fragrance. Like, the quality seems high to me. But yeah, Cologne is it's a good fragrance. Let me smell it one more time. I mean, it's not overly smooth or natural. It's not like Chanel's cologne, but I would say I like this better than Chanel's cologne. I don't know why. This one's just more, I guess it's a little stronger maybe. This one does dissipate the smell within like 10 or 15 minutes, but the citrus aspect, but I mean, it's expected from a cologne. I think or it says it on it, it's an EDP. So that's good. It's not a cologne concentrate. And it kind of, the strength does seem kind of like an EDP, but I mean, you know, an EDP of citruses, it's still citrus. It's going to fade, you know, but I think they really put like some musk, a little bit of leather in here to kind of make it last. Another fragrance I'm smelling, this is kind of going off topic, but since I have it on right now, Victor of Zoologist, I've heard he's discontinuing Beaver. I think he's reformulating it or making a new Beaver, and it's going to have maple syrup, Gastorium, and I don't know, something else. I can't think of it, like honey or something. So I guess that's the new Beaver's going to kind of be like more Canadian because they have maple syrup, and maybe the Beaver's from Canada, I'm assuming. So I'm wearing Beaver now, and I think that's one of the better zoologists. It has the I need to get my tripod. This camera's shaking, but it'll work for now. But Beaver's like this fresh air, like clean, musky kind of, like all the zoologists have this sweet musk. I think I've said it before, kind of like Byredo or Diptyque's EDPs. But when they do it right, it's really good if it's not too sweet. And Beaver is, it's almost like clean out the shower, fresh air. It smells good. I've only had it on for like 20 minutes, but I believe if I remember, it dries down like kind of leathery, and I like the first hour of it good. But yeah, check out Zoologist's Beaver if you haven't, because it might be discontinued and it will be hard to get. I think he also said he's discontinuing Dodo. I don't know if it's the jackfruit edition or the regular Dodo, but yeah, I never tried the original Dodo. I have the whole Zoologist sample set, and I bought it didn't come Dodo jackfruit edition, but I think I bought a sample of that one. Yeah, I did, and that one smelled like Tom Ford's Beau de Jour to me. I know a lot of people like Tom Ford's Beau de Jour. Dodo jackfruit smelled similar to me. I need to compare them side by side. That's instantly what I thought. So, yeah, I don't know which one's being discontinued, but maybe try Dodo's. But yeah, Cologne is good. I would try Les Miserables Cologne Indonesia. I think that one might be a higher quality, better fragrance, around the same price. I think it used to be cheaper, but they went up on those colognes, and I think that one might be better than this. Just higher quality ingredients, but I mean, this is good. This is good. You know, it's a good cologne. It's a little classic, but it's not too old school. It's like a nice Italian cologne, kind of like Celine's Parade, kind of like that, but this one leans more on the cologne side. I mean, if you smelled a classic cologne in a Italian sense, you know, maybe like Acqua di Parma's and stuff, you can imagine what this one smells like, and I'll probably end up getting a bottle eventually. I don't know. There's so many colognes, so it's hard to pick which ones I want. My favorite is Dior Homme Cologne. I think that's probably the best cologne out there. I went through a 200 ml of that. I'll have to re-buy it. I'm scared that they repackage a Dior Homme Cologne. I heard it's the same, but in my opinion, that since Mason Francis Kirkjohn is over Dior now, and he does colognes, I feel like he's eager to make his own iteration of Dior Homme Cologne. So I want to buy that fragrance of like another bottle before he does something like that. I think it might be a couple years, but or year or two, but I feel like eventually, if that's not selling well, which I don't know if it is or not, I feel like he's gonna re-release. He's gonna make a new iteration of Dior Homme Cologne, because Dior tends to do that. Look how many times they changed up Dior Homme, how many EDTs, EDPs, intense perfumes or whatever, and different version, 2005, 2011, 2020. So I could see MFK doing something like probably Aqua Celeste from his MFK line, but making it into a Dior fragrance, maybe more mass appealing with some amber or something in there, Broxton, amber woods, I don't know. But I could see him doing that. But Dior Homme Cologne is probably my favorite cologne. But that one's more modern, light, musky, clean kind of. I feel like if you like more classic colognes, you're probably going to like this, and I would give this a try. And for $100 for 50 ml, yeah, it's kind of expensive, but you can get it on discounters, like I said, and I think it's worth it. It's not overly priced, you know, like Chanel's cologne, and I like this better. It's definitely probably in my top 5, top 10 colognes that I've smelled. It's up there. But yeah, I really have much more to say about this. I'll probably review the whole house of Etat Libre d'Orange eventually. Just like to re-wear them all and kind of learn them a little bit more, because it's been a while since I've wore a lot of these fragrances, but I have a good understanding of a lot of them, and feel like I could explain them pretty good. Same thing with MFK. Those were so similar. I kept wearing them, trying to understand them. I'll review that house eventually too. But yeah, try this cologne out if you like colognes. I don't think you're going to be let down. I think you'll like it.